What's up,
We should be
guys?
live now, as long as Brett push the button correctly.
No, we've been live for a while.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, but you just unmuted. Got
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Toushinsai
So I'm
Qualifier.
here with Brett, as always.
What's up,
Go ahead, Brett.
guys?
And we have a special guest, Toushinsai Qualifier, Bears.
Hi.
Bears just happens to be at Brett's place. I don't know why,
Because
but he's
why
there.
not?
I guess.
Yeah.
Right. I have Canada coming, so same thing. So let's talk about Evo first, just Evo Guilty Gear in general. Um so I did terrible in my pool as expected. Brett, how did you do in your pool? Did you even enter?
I did. I entered. I entered Koihime.
You didn't enter Exerd?
I didn't enter Exert, no. And I think even if I had wanted to, looking back, I don't think I could have. It was pretty hectic.
Oh, just because you were running so much stuff?
Yeah. It was on Friday, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Damn, dude, come on. Can I enter
Next
Exerd?
year?
All
We'll
right.
see.
And Bears, how did you do in the main tournament? You made it pretty far, right?
Uh, so right out of pools, I got put into losers by DC, Kabigyo no DC.
Oh, okay.
But so I made it out of pools and losers. Then I somehow made it to like top 24, where I met FAB, and he did bad things to me.
Was it close or was it just like you got your back blown out?
He FAB'd me basically.
Oh, come on.
Like I've told this story before, but like I have to tell it again. The way he killed me was like the most FAB thing possible. I had him in an air block string, like
Uh-huh.
jump P, like jump P P P P over and over
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and he IB'd one P, and then he blitzed the next one, and then he landed and killed me. So
It's pretty FAB.
yeah, that's
Well, he's used to it, right?
yeah. I mean, I've seen him do it before. I just like couldn't process it happening until it was too late.
Yeah, until it was too late, you got hit by the
It's like
blitz.
even if you see it, it's like how many times are you gonna experience that shit happening to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, you'd see him, like, what was it, slash back like
Yeah.
4 things in a row,
Yeah.
and then pop buster the person. You're like, really? That's really necessary? You had to do it that way? And yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
He's just
So
that kind
you
of
made
guy.
it the top 24, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
That's pretty good.
So I think you placed
still.
17th. You said, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So right before top 16.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you did really well.
So it's actually, if I recall, the second highest placing American in the tournament after Kyohei.
So yeah,
I
was
thought
tied with Oso.
no, actually, Oso.
Yeah, no, tied with Oso. Yeah.
Oh, he tied with Oso.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like Marlin, and then it's Oso and Bears, and then everyone else basically.
And everybody else. Oh, okay. I
I
think
think
like
it was like
KV.
Minus and LK in top 32.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bunch of people before that.
Looking at the tournament beforehand, Bears, how did you think the U.S. was going to do? Did you think a few people were going to squeak in the top 32? Did you not think that? Were you surprised that Kyohei made top 8?
I honestly thought there would be maybe one or two like. Okay, so including the Koreans, I thought there would be maybe like 2 or 3 non-Japanese in top 32.
Mm-hmm.
At best. And I did not foresee any non-East Asians being in top 16.
Wow. Okay.
So Taru and Top Garen are really strong, so I thought they would get pretty far.
Yeah.
Taru actually ended up being team killed by Top Garen in
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh,
was in
that
losers,
that
so.
blows. Where did they meet in the bracket? Do you remember?
I want to say top 24, I think,
Top 24. Wow.
because I remember that after he killed Taru, Top Garen had to make it through Koichi and Soji to get into top 8. But it was either top 24 or top 16.
Wow.
So yeah, I honestly was not expecting like any Americans to make it
Top
that
16.
far at all.
I mean, Kyohei did play really well in top 16 to earn a spot in losers top 8, I think. He made Taka look kind of stupid though.
Well, Taka is
But
like
Taka was playing like a nut. That guy's a nut.
He's Taka.
he does play like that. That is his
Yeah.
style.
It's crazy that he made it that far playing that way.
He made
actually.
it to like top 16 winners or something like that.
Yeah, he got really far.
Yeah, he got really far, and then Nakamura beat him. No. Yeah, it was Nakamura, right?
Wasn't it Rion?
Or was
Yeah,
it
Rion
Rion?
beat
No,
him.
you're right, it was Rion. It was Rion, yeah. Rion beat him.
But yeah, it was very surprising. I don't think the Japanese expected it either, from what I overheard them saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't talk to any of them after the tournament. I think a lot of people were expecting Machabo to win,
Oh yeah,
no matter what.
Yeah.
it was pretty much like
It happened exactly what we
Yeah.
foresaw. It literally happened exactly as we'd foreseen it.
yeah.
Yeah, what-
I actually thought that like Ogawa might not make it to top 8. Like
He almost lost to Sato twice, right?
he did lose to Sato once, who knocked him into losers. They met again, and Sato almost double jeopardied him. But
That would have been ridiculous.
It was
I didn't
a
even know
really
it was
good
possible to double Jeopardy that early.
The
But
magic of double elimination brackets.
yeah. Oh well.
But yeah, it was
What?
It went about as I expected.
Yeah.
I didn't think Kazunoko would make it that far either.
Oh yeah, that was probably one of the biggest surprises.
But it
in
was
terms of
really
Japanese
funny
play.
because like it was so obvious that a lot of even the Japanese players had not practiced against Raven at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was smart. It was a good decision by him.
I like it's not just like he was like gimmicking people out. He was actually really good with the characters. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm probably guessing that a lot of people were like, oh, it's Raven. Even if you're pretty good at him, you're probably at like net play gimmicks level, and then Kazunoko comes with this actually really solid Raven, and you're not ready.
yeah.
Yeah, that character looks a little ridiculous to block. But
Well, that's
I
the
guess
funny
we'll
thing,
learn
because
over
Kazunoko
time.
wasn't actually using any of the like really advanced mix-ups, but he was just playing like really solid. Like if you actually watch, not a lot of his mix-ups actually worked. It's just that he kept on knocking the other guy down from neutral.
oh yeah, that's true. Some of his pokes seem really good. Like I think it's 2S. His
Oh,
2
2H?
heavy. I think it
2H,
is.
the one that like
2H,
sweeps
yeah.
the ground. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
2H
one-
is really good. 5P.
yeah.
His
and, like,
5P is really good. Yeah.
and like even during his match with Rion, you could tell that Rion hadn't had a lot of experience with Raven,
Mm-hmm.
because when Kazunoko was ending his block strings with like the needle, then Rion would try and like stun dipper under that, and then Kazunoko reacted by doing like what's pretty much day one Raven which is like YRCing the
Yeah.
needle and then dashing
Yeah.
over it. And then Rion reacted to that, but like it was obvious he was learning the matchup as he went, and it was still
Yeah,
really cool to see
exactly.
how solid
Yeah.
he was, just even like faced with something that unfamiliar.
Did he win CEO or was it Dogura that won CEO?
Togura won, but he reset the bracket,
Oh, okay.
and it was actually pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one where he busted out his Raven
Yeah.
and Dogura picked Johnny? That
Yeah,
that
Togura
tournament?
picked Johnny. I was
Yeah.
like, man,
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
body this
gonna
guy with
Johnny you.
And then suddenly it's like, wait. And then
he
took
stuck
out his
with
sin,
Raven, yeah.
And then he took out his sin, and he like still almost lost.
Yeah,
And,
it was really legit.
there were some really cool, like, there was actually one scene in there that like a lot of American players watching noticed, which was when Kazunoko did like IED jump S, and it beat Sin 6P clean. And a lot of people who have fallen victim to Sin 6P before just like saw that. And they were like,
Yeah.
that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah,
But it was obviously that like Kazunoko had some experience with it,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Togura had not.
He's like, I'm saying I'll just 6P
Yeah.
this, no problem.
Well,
But, yeah,
Kazunoko,
Togura in the end.
whatchamacallit? Kazunoko is Tokyo, right?
Huh?
I think he's Tokyo.
Kazunoko?
Yeah. Or is he West Japan?
I
not
think
Kansai.
he's east.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
all
I
the
think
God's
maybe-
Garden crew are
Yeah.
Kanto somewhere, but they're not
Somewhere.
exactly like close to Mikado, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Togura is Kansai.
Yeah, I know Dogura is Kansai, yeah. So I was trying to expect, like, I think Machabo is Kansai as well. No.
No, I
he's-
think he's Kanto.
But he's
But he-
also not like
Yeah.
part of the Mikado crew.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he and Kazunoku don't necessarily like show up all
play
the time.
play a lot, yeah. So, you were surprised. I was pretty surprised, too, that Kyohei made it that far. I'm glad he made it that far because it's always nice to see, a U.S. weekend just like Zidane did last year.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of like how brackets always turn out. Like, not to discredit Kyohei at all, but it's like,
Oh, no.
but it's like because there is some random factor. It's actually highly likely that it's gonna not like perfectly pan out. Like even if you're like even if you were like, oh well, every Japanese player is gonna like bop every non-Japanese player. It's like it actually just is not gonna work out that way. Like
Oh, yeah, there are going to
Yeah.
be team kills, and a lot of
Yeah.
them in a 900-man tournament.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually like I had a relatively easy bracket until I met like FAB. And I did see a surprising amount of like US versus US even fairly deep into the bracket.
yeah,
Basically, like even right after pools ended, I honestly thought that like US was doomed because basically every single bracket that had like every single pool that had a Japanese player in it, the Japanese player came out in winners. Like even like people like Omito or FAB or Machabo, you kind of like if they didn't make it on winners, that would be crazy. But even people who most people haven't heard of, like Heineke, who is quite the celebrity over in Japan for reasons not related to his skill, or like 7110, I think that was his name, the May player. But basically, there were a lot
yeah.
of like Japanese players who aren't the top tier.
they still made it out.
Yeah,
of
and
the
they
pool.
still made out of the
Yeah, but
pools
still
and
made it
winners
out in
over
winners.
like fairly.
strong.
Yeah,
other
strong American
Strong
players.
US
Yeah.
players. Oh, okay.
So I looked at that and I was like, man, we're so fucked.
Yeah,
Like I think there was Julian made it out of his pools in winners over Kamego, the Venom player, who is like around like 22nd down level in Mikado. And there was one other like American player who made it out over a Japanese one. But outside of that, it was like every Japanese player in winners.
did Peter
and then-
beat Moga? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that
yeah,
was
Peter beat
it was-
Moga.
it was
Day
Peter.
Mendo, the Slayer
Oh,
our
okay.
Slayer player, he made it out of
Yeah,
his
yeah,
pool
yeah.
in winners too over Moga.
Yeah, I think. Oh no, it was you Bears against Roldy. That picture.
Oh yeah,
picture
that.
You had to
Yeah.
fight Roldy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad.
He picked Slayer against me.
Really?
Big
And I was
Slayer.
lost.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty close. It was a good match.
His friends were getting quite excited.
Yeah, I got Canada all wound up. Dude, I'm just letting you know, when we started yelling, every single person with a camera came over. And even like the 4Gamer guys were there. I wouldn't be surprised if Rob was there from
Yeah.
Red Bull. Like there were probably 5 people with cameras behind the setup videotaping it and or taking pictures.
It was a really sloppy match.
It was sloppy, but
It's
it was
okay. They
hype,
don't need to
so.
see the match because all they're seeing is the pictures of the people, right? So
Yeah, I don't think anybody recorded the match, but us being loud is definitely recorded somewhere. All right, so Evo happened. I think we're probably going to talk about during the next podcast too, with like the side tournaments and stuff. But I think that's good for now. I think we all kind of expected roughly the same thing, and then we were all surprised in about the same way with how the U.S. did. Maybe not so. Brett thinks it would like work out great, but I was really not expecting somebody to break top 16 just because how many strong players were coming, and I've seen our best players choke very hard before.
It's true.
So Kyohei staying solid as he did was a breath of fresh air for me, at least.
Yeah, definitely.
Knowing the way he can play occasionally. So moving on, let's talk about the Toushinsai Qualifier. Bears, you won, and did you lose a game the whole time? Because I don't remember you ever losing a game.
I don't think I did.
Yeah. I'm
If I
pretty
did,
sure
it was
you.
probably to KV, but I don't remember.
Well, that was streamed.
Yeah, but like I haven't watched it.
No.
The only thing I watched was like this part where people say I was like glaring at Minus. And I looked at it and wow, it really looks like I really hate the guy or something. But I was actually not even actually looking at him. I was zoning
You're like
out.
deep in thought or something.
Yeah.
Looking off in the distance. That's funny.
I wanted Chaz to beat you, so it would have been New York Grand Finals. Then I wouldn't have shut up for the rest of the tournament. But you squashed that dream very quickly. I was also gonna joke around and go up to you guys and say 3 out of 5 after Chaz lost 2 straight to see what your reaction would be, but I thought that would be in poor taste.
I would like to see that. That sounds pretty hilarious.
I mean, I would have played it, but
I was actually originally I was gonna let you guys choose 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5, and I don't think the outcome would have changed, but yeah, that was like something I didn't really think of in advance. People were all asking me. I'm like, I don't know. Whatever they want to play, I guess. There's no like official rules for this tournament that were handed down to us from Taito.
Right.
Other than a couple things like, no pad players. You can't be from the Netherlands or something, or Canada. Sorry, Canada.
Sorry, Canada. Bryce was pretty sad again.
Maybe one day.
Bryce was
maybe
like,
one day.
yeah.
Actually, like if I could share what I was thinking back then during the Minus match, it was basically just kind of like reflecting on how like America being so huge really makes it like hard for people to get like character experience.
Yep.
Because Minus is a really good, and I've seen him play like against a lot of players, and he plays really well. But not to discredit him or anything, but he was lacking like very basic knowledge of the matchup.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird to me because like basically I asked the first question and he didn't have the answer to that one. And I was just thinking, man, it really sucks how even the best people from like each scene, they have like these huge gaping holes in their matchup knowledge just because they have no good players of this character to practice against.
Yeah, I mean, if you even think about it, scenes aren't even big enough to cover. If you like count everybody in your scene, it might not even cover the whole cast.
Yeah,
like
I mean, you can consider. I mean, it's fortunate enough. I feel if you can even get just the players, not just like good players, but like a player of each character is already kind of tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Like, I don't think we really have a bedman in the Northeast. The closest we have is what's his name? Princess.
Princess Slim. Yeah.
So yeah, Princess Slim is like I think the closest thing we have in the Northeast.
Yeah, and he's been
like
playing
a bedman
lately.
Oh, is that what happened to him?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw his name pop up for a while earlier, like early this year, last year.
Yeah, he was really good. But
Yeah.
then he changed his focus to a bad game.
Why? But yeah, it's pretty rare now. I don't think any scene has absolutely every character in it.
Oh yeah, like even half the characters maybe is something that's hard to muster.
NorCal is basically the left side of the character select screen.
I've never actually looked at the character select screen and thought about who plays what. East Coast has a pretty good representative, I think. There's definitely some matchups where I wish we had a slightly stronger player in, or somebody that wasn't splitting their dedication. You
Yeah.
know, like Marv played Kai, and his Kai was pretty solid, and then he started playing Sin, and his Sin got kind of solid, but neither character was like amazing. You know,
Yeah.
I wish American Net Play allowed us to play coast to coast. I think our skill level would get better.
Yeah. I mean, there was also one thing that Top Garen mentioned. During his path to top 8, Marlon actually met Shimonkin, who is a pretty good Axel from Japan.
Axel, yep.
And what Top Garen said was that it was really obvious that Marlon had no Axel experience like whatsoever, but he still managed to like squeak out the win. And to Top Garen, it was like he doesn't even know the very basics of the matchup, and he's basically playing entirely on fundamentals. And I thought that was really funny to hear.
Yeah, one thing about Kyohei, I remember asking him a couple years ago when I saw him do something like that. I saw him do something he obviously did not practice in a matchup that he did not play that often. And he says he theory fights a lot. Like he will just play matches in his head, just thinking about random things and how he would come up with an answer to them. So I think it's almost like an exercise he might do with himself occasionally, knowing that he's not going to get all the matchup experience that he needs. But he does understand characters to at least a certain level. I think that changed with Exerd because he doesn't play every character in Exerd, but in Accent Core, he knew how to play every character at least half decently. So, I mean, he has a basic understanding of a lot of the characters, but yeah, things definitely did change with Exerd.
Especially
I didn't
with
get
so
to
many
watch
new
that
characters
match, though.
too. I said especially with so many new characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all have their own little gimmick. That's
Like
totally different.
What is it? Sparrow? That's Sparrowhawk stance. That's
Sparrowhawk,
what it's called?
yeah.
Fuck that shit. If you don't know how to deal with it,
Yeah.
like that's probably one of the most annoying things in the game. Just because you're like, I know there is an easy answer to this, but I don't know what it is. So you just have to like push a button or try a move at a certain timing and hope you don't get hit. Like that's I don't play enough, so I get blown up by that all the time. Actually, I had to fight an Axel. I knew it. I knew like the first match I was gonna either play an Axel or a Bedman. Two matchups I've never played in the game before, like really ever. And I got an Axel first game. I took a match off of him, but yeah, I choked at the end.
Yeah.
Oh well, so who got Chaz got second, Shine got third, 2GIG got fourth somehow.
Wait, how do you choose? How do you know who's third place? Did you play?
We
for
did
the-
we did a third place match.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because there's like
Yeah.
monetary prize attached to it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there was money, so I had to have a third place match. And yeah, 2GIG got fourth. Somehow Shine managed to beat a Sin, but I don't know if
Well, I don't think Phil's like
2GIG
ever fought
really-
Potemkin ever.
yeah, I was
so.
about to say I don't think. Yeah,
I mean,
2GIG
he was on. That was like his 1 month sin to begin with.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said he just started playing Sin. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
literally 1 month ago. Like actually 1 month. Not an exaggeration.
that's pretty impressive because he beat LK, I think, on his way there.
Yeah,
The
I'm pretty
RTL,
sure, right?
oh my god.
yeah. The RTL is.
yeah.
What a
Apparently,
godlike
LK got
move.
really that an RTL hit behind him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
It's a great super.
I mean, it's not only does it do like 5 billion damage 3 times, but it also is safe on block and like totally invulnerable if you use the burst super, which
He
Philip
did.
did.
For a lot more damage.
Yeah.
God, wake up, burst, ride the lightning. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Well, it's such
I mean,
a good.
do it.
It's actually a really good choice, because if you're gonna use your burst to get out, might as well use your burst to get out
And do a
and
billion damage and murder
have the
them.
chance to do like 5 billion damage. Like, if that had been blocked, he would not have cared. He would have just have, like, used the second charge to, like, run away, and then the threat of the third charge would have kept LK from chasing. So, it's a really smart move. It's the one that Faulty uses a lot, and I hate him for it. Faulty, if you're listening, fuck you.
I'm really sad that
somebody
Faulty
who knows
couldn't
Faulty
go,
is listening,
actually.
tell him I said fuck you for using burst RTL against me.
So yeah, that, and then so Kyohei qualified after beating Oso in the tournament. You qualified after winning the qualifier, and then after everything was over, Arc System Works was like, "Yo, we need to find Top Garen," and I'm okay. So apparently, there was a little bit of miscommunication. But they're sending 3 people now because of it. They're sending Kyohei, Bears, and Top Garen because he was the highest placing international player. So Top Garen is going to be going to Toushinsai as well.
That's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He's apparently the Asian representative or something like that. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was hilarious because like he heard that like right as he came into the anime suite, and like his eyes got huge and he started like.
Oh, is he like pumped?
Around. I'm sorry.
Is he pumped for it?
Oh yeah, he was. So he was actually kind of like disappointed after like he lost to Omito in like the very beginning of top 8, and he was like, man, I could have done better, and wow, top 8 doesn't really pay that well, and so on and so forth. And then like he heard, oh, they're sending you to Toushinsai, and it's like, and he started like screaming and.
Oh, okay. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I'm glad. It was neat watching him play. He I think the first night or the first anime suite night, I was watching people play him and I had no idea who he was. And apparently he was just like blowing out bats.
Yeah, he was
left and
bodying
right.
everybody other than I think Ogawa ended up killing him, right? But
Yeah,
I remember
Ogawa-
he had that streak.
Ogawa basically came in, played him once, destroyed him, and then left.
And
Like,
then
he didn't even
left.
play
Wow.
the next guy. He just got up.
What a lord.
He's Ogawa.
What a lord. But yeah, I was like, I didn't know there was, I know Daru from KSB,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know a whole lot about Top Garen. But now he's definitely on the map for a lot of people
Yeah.
after top 8 at EVO, definitely.
Yeah, the top tier of the Korean scene, basically. I mean, it's very close to Japan, so, if you just gather a little money and have a little time off, you can go off.
You can go out, yeah.
Practice with them.
Do they have a large scene in Korea for Guilty Gear?
It's very, very small. It pretty much died out entirely in like mid to late AC, before ACPR.
Okay.
That was when like Korean arcades started dying out too. Basically, all the ones that are left now are basically like Tekken.
Oh, Tekken arcades. Okay.
But yeah, like basically all the really good Korean players for GG are like fossils from, the execs, the Sharp R, that era.
Mm-hmm. All right. Good to know. Because I knew they had good players. I'm just not sure how, but that explains it. If some of them have been around that long. And the net play is probably not bad in Korea either. It's probably not that bad with Japan.
When that play between Korea and Japan? Yes.
It's basically like, so it depends on the ISP for the Korean and the Japanese player. They're basically like, there are good ISPs and bad ISPs, and if you want to get a good connection, you have to have the good ISP for both players.
Oh, okay.
But if you do, you can get like basically a solid 2-frame, which, considering that the arcade delay is 1 frame already, is basically like a 1-frame connection.
Okay.
So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Awesome. What's next? Oh. So, leading up to the event, I think a lot of people were expecting Dizzy to be announced, just because We knew she was in the game. We know they had been working on her. But it's like, well, when are they going to release a character that we know is in the game that has a model in the game? And Arc System Works, I think, has done an okay job or a really good job compared to Capcom of not leaking characters, or when they're supposed to be released. So I don't think a lot of people were surprised, but at the same time, they were, super happy that Dizzy's back in the game and she looks beautiful. I wonder how long. I should have made that one of the questions for the interview, how long it took them to make Dizzy. Some of those animations are absolutely ridiculous.
There was a lot of complaining from the ArcSys developers, apparently, that Dizzy was too complicated. And when you look at like how she plays, it seems like that makes a lot of sense, because basically like her wings transform differently for each move that she does, and some of them are like Necro, some of them are Undine, some of them are both together, and like when she faints, she has like her wings transform again, and like there's a lot of transforming work to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is something they mentioned, doing to like emulate 2D with their 3D models. Instead of, you can't just like draw new sprites, basically.
Yeah. Her colors are pretty sick too.
Yeah, what Kit said, her wings are like 2 additional characters to model and animate. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. Plus all the projectiles. Yep. But yeah, I think it's cool that Dizzy's back in the game. Maybe Zach will return to the tournament scene.
Yeah,
that would be
I'd like
pleasure.
to see that.
I'd like to see
Dizzy player already came back, so.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I think it would be neat if like Alex G came back, but I don't know if that guy exists anymore. Because I know he was really good in the Florida scene. Let's see. And then the balance patch. So I think nobody was expecting this. Unless Arc System Works or Axis told them beforehand that they were doing this.
I know Karnshu was.
Oh, really?
No, I was just joking about it because like he was playing Hell sub characters for the last couple months, and also not doing unblockables.
Well, because nobody wants to play him.
Well, there's also that, but it was pretty funny.
Well, I asked Pachi at the second anime suite.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, dude, thanks. Like this is the perfect time for this." And I asked them, "Well, how long have you been working on this?" And they said, I think it was roughly less than a month.
Makes sense.
I think they just had a list. They probably had like a laundry list of stuff they wanted to do to the game.
Yeah.
So they just, implemented it. I guess doing a patch is not super complicated when you're just nerfing.
It's not. Yeah, I mean,
frames and hitboxes.
I think they did everything pretty complete. I mean, well, not pretty complete, but it's a good patch.
There were some buffs too.
There were some buffs. There were definitely some buffs. Yeah. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, playing around with it, but I didn't
Jam
play.
got hella buffed.
Yeah, Jam got buffed. Hella buffed?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she can get max charge off of 6H. Like not even 6H counter. She just like ends a Gatling in 6H.
Oh no, she could always do
charge.
that, but yeah, it's just hard. Well, I guess it's easier to combo into now since they increased the range on 6K. I think that was the big change.
Well, they increased the speed that the cards they take less time to get.
Yeah,
now.
they take less time to charge too. Yeah.
And then like she has like a bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug right now where if you do the air version of Max Fusion, she has full strike invulnerability until after she lands. Like she goes back to neutral and she still has invulnerability frames.
Oh, so it was only supposed to be up until the first active frame, right? In the patch notes?
I think that's how like the card version works, like the regular card. And then there's the max one with the blue fire. That one's like basically fully invulnerable.
The whole time.
Yeah, like there's a video out there of her like flying through Ram's beam super and she just like flies through it and she lands and she goes back into neutral and meanwhile like the laser is firing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Holy crap. All right. I'm
Doran
gonna
is
have to
very
play around
happy with
that
it,
a
by
little
the way.
bit.
Sure
Doran
he
is
is.
very
I'm
happy.
sure every Jam player out there is very
Yeah.
pleased.
Yeah, I mean, my one big complaint about Jam when she was released was she always had a hard time getting in, but if she had a card or meter, she could get in, but that wasn't even the case in this version really. Um, she had to air dash in at the right time or parry YRC or parry dash to get in.
Yeah.
So against certain characters, it was just a headache to
And the
approach.
Venom also has gotten like a big buff.
Yeah.
There have been some buffs that weren't immediately apparent, like buffs to his tension gain for setting balls and for doing various special moves, and they've turned out to be pretty actually impactful because now he has Bishop Runout, the ball super, the one that he can hit, and he has setups with that where he basically ends up with almost as much tension as he had going into it.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, they're very sensitive setups. They're probably not super feasible for use in like real matches, but it's cool to see that he has things like that now.
Yeah, he also has like that 6P loop.
Oh, right.
Air
He
dash
can jump
loop.
cancel from 6P now.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal.
That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty good. When they added that became not only like an easier thing to confirm, a safer move to throw out the anti-air with, but also combo filler. You know, that was a big buff.
I like that change a lot because it also propels him away from the old version of himself. Like it's a change that's also kind of fresh. So I like that. Like it's a buff that's not just like giving him back something he used to have. It's like a different direction, which is nice.
Yeah, they could have just like made QV like do this curve.
Yeah, and been like, hey, we buffed it. It's this old move again.
Trying to think what other characters. Sing got nerfed.
The top three got nerfed.
I think. Yeah.
Or if you could call it, the three bullies got nerfed. You
Three
put it that way.
bullies. So the three bullies were Sin,
Alfel, Johnny.
John. Yeah, they got nerfed pretty good.
Interestingly,
I like
Zato and Milia were pretty much unchanged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, when Biscuit saw the Zato changes, he's like, "What? All right."
Yeah.
So
I don't think Milia really needed changes though, because she's still Milia. If she ever broke the mold out from what Milia is probably supposed to be, then I think people would start to complain. But you can still, run train on her, but she can also run train on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have been saying they think Milia is going to be, the god in this version. Whether or not that's true, she certainly did get some nerfs from the original game, from Sign 1.0. So, I'm not sure if they're really looking back that far, but I mean, there were enough really good characters that got nerfed that I think maybe people aren't too bothered by the change. I mean, I say that, but I'm sure some people are bothered that she didn't get changed. But I like that Jago got nerfed.
Yeah, Jacko was one of those characters that was not fun. Wait, was that the other character I lost to? Yeah.
You lost to
damn
Jacko?
Jacko.
Yay!
Like, why are you going to put me up against these characters I've never played against before? My Kaya's already, like, day 2.
Yeah. I actually
that
really
was-
liked what LK said about Jacko. He said with his comment on the Jacko changes was that she's what she should have been from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Exactly.
It's really fair. Like it's like, oh, it's the same character, but less retarded house throwing, less retarded like I'm inputting my house make while you destroy my house.
Oh yeah.
And-
Less, my house was destroyed.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just going to put it right back down again.
I mean, honestly, from what Jacko players have been telling me, that they don't really actually notice the cooldown on the house make that significantly, but
The throw change is probably
the
pretty
throw change is probably the biggest one. No more like, I don't know what's going on, but I have house down. Let's spin neutral like right now.
Yeah, what? They lowered the level on it,
Yeah,
right?
by like 2, if I recall right. It's very, 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 very big.
Yeah, it went from 4 to 2.
Yeah, so no more like I'm throwing the house, I'm in your face, but you can't throw me. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
messed up.
Man, that
No
character.
more like you're in the corner. I'll just sit here and like pick up the house and throw it, and pick up the house and throw it, and pick up the house and throw it. And you basically can't do
Yeah,
anything.
like, and if she gets you in the corner, she could like bounce. She could bounce the house off the corner.
Yeah,
and
then,
it would kind of drop in your face as she
Yep.
came down.
Yep.
It was quite nice.
What a character. Character.
They also nerfed a few of her normals, which was
yeah, they nerf Far Slash.
// and 2S.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's good.
Could have stood to
What
nerf
else?
some of Sin's normals too, but
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Oh, and Brett, could you explain exactly what happened to Johnny?
sure. The biggest nerf is unblockable. Unblockable if they're on the ground. If they block it with mist on them, grounded, it no longer actually hits them. It staggers them. The stagger is actually pretty short, so you can link some normals off of it, some close normals that don't really lead to anything. So generally, people have come up with some elaborate setups to get some combos off of the unblockable. It's still completely unblockable if you air block. So if you try and jump out of the mist setup, then yeah, you get full comboed. But basically, it's a lot worse to the point where I still think it's likely that you'll see people not go for unblockable at all and just take a knockdown into just doing some normal Oki or end at a coin. So
Okay.
it's like Leo's unblockable, except that yeah, for the air hit, it's true unblockable.
True unblockable.
Yeah.
Got it.
Did you find out?
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Did you find out whatever happened with like that one bug you posted? Well,
I don't know
if
what it
was a
is.
bug.
Yeah. On top of that, there's more paration on unblockable as well.
10%
Okay.
more.
Yeah, so it's at 60% now, which is basically throw.
Well,
Throw is
Oh.
50.
It's
But
more severe than it sounds because you don't get the damage of the mist
yeah,
finder itself.
so
anymore.
technically the Mistfinder that unblockables you does unparaded damage. So you like if it does 40 damage on the frame data list, you take 40 damage, and it raises the risk gauge. So the paration is not like completely destroyed, but like basically it will influence like doing extended combos off of it and doing like long loops. So ultimately it's a pretty significant damage reduction. Like you're looking at instead of doing an unblockable into like 150 damage, you're looking at unblockable into like 100 damage or something like that. So it's a pretty significant nerf considering that you need coins to do everything. So when you add up all the numbers and stuff, it ends up looking like a lot of the time you just shouldn't go for the unblockable because you're spending so many resources that you're going to be unable to kill them later, basically. This is on top of his meter gain nerf and his normals being nerfed and his 6k not being plus unblock now. It's very big. It went down a level, so if I recall, it's -1 now.
It's
or is it
-4
even?
on IB.
Yeah. So it's -1 now.
Oh, wow.
-4 on IB, which is punishable by a lot of characters. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's pretty significant. I still think he's going to be a really good character. Remarkably, they didn't actually nerf a couple other things which are pretty broken. So like they didn't nerf Zwei. Zwei is still like retarded. They didn't nerf the 6k hitbox. So though it's no longer you're too scared to do anything, I'll 6k and keep being in your face and plus. It's
Yeah.
still the like you tried to do something from kind of far away and I'm just gonna 6k and you got hit and now you're gonna take a lot of damage. So it's still a really good move.
2H is also untouched.
Yeah, 2H is also untouched, which is really fair because now 6k is like not a get in move. 2H is your only real way aside from just forward dashing to
Got
get
it.
close again without spending meter. So I still think he's probably going to be a strong character. He still does all of his combos identically. Like they're all the same. They did nerf some damage
okay.
though. Nerf damage on Mistfinder and I think 6H and I think his super as well. So he's a little bit nerf damage, but it's more like meter. Meter nerf is pretty significant for him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Does that make him more hesitant to use treasure?
It does, but it's still so good that it doesn't really matter. But yeah, like it's no longer. I mean, before it was dumb because it doesn't stop your attention gain.
Yeah.
So you basically just like did some combo. Let's throw treasure hunt in the middle of this combo, eat a bunch of damage, get my coins, do like a ender for this, and still be at like lots of meter and just destroy you. But since especially things like forward dash, you get a lot less meter from forward dashing. So those forward dashes in the middle of his combo, all the moves and stuff, like the gain's less. His gain neutral game is less. So that meter is more important now. So depending on the matchup of the situation, I think there are definitely more times where you're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't do treasure hunt here. Just keep my meter for when I need it.
All right. Poor Johnny. But not poor Johnny at the same time, because I'd say that the tiers got more compact, right, with the balance patch, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to we're going back to like Accent Core now. We're gonna be complaining about Eddie and Melia all the time.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm used to that.
Yeah,
I have a lot of practice with doing that.
Yeah, I'm very well practiced at complaining about those characters too. Yeah,
over a decade of practice.
Yeah, okay. I can use all my old lines now.
Yeah, I have frame perfect complaining.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, just now actually, they revealed the SCR date, like literally like 10 minutes ago or something.
It's in October, right?
Yeah, it's in October. It is, if I recall, the third weekend of October.
Overlaps completely with Toushinsai.
Yeah, it overlaps with Toushinsai, which is unfortunate.
Hold on, is that the same weekend? So
it's the third. It's the third weekend. It's the third Saturday, so it will also be overlapping
the 15th,
with
16th.
Yeah, the 14th through the 16th, I think.
You know what else that overlaps with?
Dogfight.
Final Fantasy Fan Fest. Woo!
None of us care about that.
Oh, come on, man.
Know that was a thing.
It happens every 2 years. And I'm going this year. Because I like Final Fantasy 14. Brett.
What's up?
Did you have anybody during the event come up and ask you about the podcast at all?
Yeah, I did. I did have people.
I had quite a few people ask me what the hell happened to it. And I'm like, well, July was kind of boned because of everything going on in it. And travel and stuff kind of moves it. We're not going to have it earlier in the week. So if we can't have it later in the week, we just kind of postpone it until we're both around.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been telling people is like, well, it's topical, basically, when we have something we want to talk about, it's worth it. But it's actually, I think it's nice that this is not kind of a thing where we have to dig up topics out of our ass and like talk about the this week's news or drama.
Yeah, so, I think we'll have a lot to talk about now.
I think so too, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can start going around covering different scenes. Maybe we can talk about Anime Evo. That'll be good.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we definitely have a few topics. Definitely more readily available now. I don't think we ever really talked about CEO, but we could probably go back and talk about that at some point. But
if we're gonna talk about CEO, we might as well talk about CEO Taku because that's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, so if we want to talk about the closest majors coming up, that's like let's see, August is Summer Jam. September is
when's the Fall Classic?
The Fall Classic is in September, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Again this year. If not, it's in October. CEO Taku is in October. SCR is in October. Man, October went to having nothing to having like everything.
CEO is basically the end of August / the start of October. It's literally like overlapping the edge of the month. So,
yeah. Oh, South Milk in chat. I do not know when the next TSB is. I do not actually run TSB. My name is in it. That is it. So I'm the most important person at TSB. However, I never know when they are. You have to talk to SKD. SKD plans and runs them now, after Dino retired. Not sure what else to talk about. I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Little under an hour. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if Bears, you have any last comments or anything you want to bring up?
I'm gonna tell everybody they're free.
Well, not really. I just wish I got to play more of the Japanese players. I was kind of busy with other stuff on Sunday and Monday, so
You and me both, sir. You and me both.
yeah, didn't really have a chance. I hear that like several Japanese players like really just like dug in and like really like played a ton of casuals. Like I know that Nage was there on Saturday, and he basically played for hours in the same spot because nobody could beat him. And Pure basically played casuals the whole weekend long, and Sato did that as well. And I think that was pretty cool to see instead of just like the Japanese like. Because I would have totally understood if the Japanese had decided, oh, we're in Las Vegas for the first time, I'm going to go out and like sightsee and stuff and only play in the tournament.
They did kind of do that last year. A lot of them did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because Kyle was there, and I don't think
So
Kyle is really against,
on.
like holding their hand for a little bit, at least for a day or two. But since Kyle Ho-chan could not make it this year, I didn't expect John or Giuna. I mean, Giuna was working most of the time, but I don't think John was really gonna show the Japanese around, and there were a lot of them too.
Yeah.
No way he was gonna be able to take care of all.
The nice thing is a lot of those guys have been here before. They're a lot more familiar with how things go down. It looked like they were pretty comfortable taking care of themselves, so that's good.
Yeah, I did hear there were like the Chronicles of Machabo, since this was his first time.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He destroyed his shower.
Oh, really? What is it with I guess we're like the same way when we go to Japan, though. Because when you go to Japan, well, let me put it this way, right? So if you had a place with like just a whatchamacallit, like a bath,
The furo?
right?
Yeah.
I would not know how to use it because there's all those goddamn buttons, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when they come over here, they're not used to pulling, like turning the bath into a shower. Does that make sense?
No.
Well,
no, it doesn't.
No, I can kind of see that.
No, that shit is in Japan. There's no fucking excuse.
They
have fucking things for turning the fucking bath to a fucking shower. It's the same shit.
No, but it's like...
There just aren't buttons. I mean, they don't have to worry about temperature.
But yeah.
I thought the funniest thing was that like they were too scared to call the hotel maintenance.
Yeah, that's funny.
So they just
what happened to their room?
The room flooded for like a long time.
Are you serious? Holy shit! All right, we definitely need to find out more about this. I think if anybody can dig up information about what happened, because that sounds absolutely
it's all on
epic.
Kazunoko's Twitter if you can read Japanese. It's
okay.
It starts from the airport where like
Yeah, Kazunoka is just basically writing a book about Machobo. It was pretty godlike, actually. It's a pretty good read.
We should get Tenma or Great Fern Man to translate it all.
Yeah.
Put it up in an
Sounds
Evernote.
pretty good. But all right, thanks for coming on, Bears.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Good talk as always.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks again, Brett, for streaming. I might be able to actually stream now because I have a new PC, but we can keep doing this too.
As long as you don't break it over Final Fantasy 14 or something.
I don't think I can. I mean, if anything, my phone will break again before my computer does.
Word.
Oh, God. Okay. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. Look out. We'll probably tweet about it for those of you guys who want it, and I'll have this up on YouTube later this week too. So
yeah, check Brett's channel. He's been uploading them.
Actually, I finally found a site that I think I can actually host the raw audio on.
Oh yeah.
Someone hit me up about that because SoundCloud is actually super whack.
Yeah, so I hear.
But I think this other site that I'm looking at right now, someone recommended to me. It seems really solid, so I'm uploading them right now, and I'm gonna have them all edited and stuff. So for those of you guys watching archives, and I know it's actually much easier just to find just the audio. So hopefully that'll work out for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Sign off. Thanks.
Yeah. See you guys.
See ya.
Take it easy.